Today we're bourbon hunting at Corked on Stearns in Long Beach, California. Back in December, we went to Corked in Long Beach for a Stagg pick drop by our local whiskey group, West Coast Whiskey Club. Jonathan and I are always super stoked when we see a Stagg pick for a good price, so we couldn't pass this one up for $146. They also had some bundles and other more sought-after bottles available at Corked for their Christmas event. Jonathan and I go through the bottles and the pricing slowly and in depth right after we purchase our 2 beautiful Stagg bottles. This was an amazing experience for us because, honestly, you all showed out. We had so many fans of the channel that said hi to us, and the support was just unbelievable, to say the least. We had no idea that this many locals watched or really even had heard of our channel, and we just can't thank y'all enough. And if y'all see us out and about, please, please, please say hi. I usually try to carry stickers with me, and we love getting to talk to everyone.
All right, we're in Stearns with all the specials for Christmas on December 20th. So we've got a Blanton's combo for $150 here. Blanton's and a Michter's right there. We have Eagle Rare for $100, Eagle Rare and normal 4 roses. That new Remus Babe Ruth Reserve. We actually haven't seen that a lot in California. That's a new special bottle, kind of like the Remus Reserve, but a little Babe Ruth edition for you. We have Peerless Double Oak Rye for $140. We love the bourbon version, but we never really see the rye, actually. This is 109.5 proof, and I believe a batch 16. So something to look at there. Let us know if you tried that before. Elijah Craig Barrel Proof, A124 for $90. The Toasted Barrel for $70. Seeing these a lot more. Hancock's for $100. Moving over, we have Larceny Barrel Proof for $70. Let's see, what was this tag? They had Old Carter Rye for $230. Those are flying off the shelves now. We have some Cream of Kentucky 7-year single barrel, 108. The Bourbon Bond for $93. There's that Sir Davis, the Beyonce rye for $98 right there. Redemption 9-year for $105. We actually heard a lot of good things about this. This is just good barrel proof MGP. So this is 103 proof, and this is their low rye mash bill, the 21% rye. Elijah Craig 18 for $200. We always recommend that as a really good gift bottle if that's in the range you're looking for. There's that new Baker's High Rye 7-year for $82. This is a 7-year, 6-month one. We also have the Maker's Mark The Heart release for $90. This is actually one of the first Maker's Marks that we have liked. We got to try a sample of, and it's actually pretty good. So not a bad price there at all. Some tequila. We have the Corazon finished in handy barrels for $100. We have Fortaleza Tequila Blanco bundle for $180. They had the Still Strength for $200. The Reposado for $230. That's the new tequila that all the bourbon drinkers are going for lately. Joseph Magnus Cigar Blend for $200. This is a batch 219 if you care. We used to never get this in California, but it's been a little bit more available lately. I think $200 is MSRP right there. Still have a couple Michter's 10-year ryes for $220. Again, kind of the cheapest we've ever seen it for, actually.
Yeah, definitely.
And then we have Baumburgers and Shanks for $150 each. And they used to have a Michter's Toasted Barrel for $150 also. We have the 1792 barrel, small batch, bottled bond, and the full proof there for about $36 to $50 here. Coming back around, we have Knob Creek 18-year for $210. This is the batch 3. So we have a batch 2 we weren't a fan of, but we heard people love batch 1. And I'm hearing a lot of better reviews about batch 3. So if you want something high age statement from Jim Beam, that might be a good pick. We've also got Pinhook, the Vertical Series. This is actually a 9-year one for $108. These are just MGP, but they release those at each year at the age. I think they started at 5 years or 4 years and just keep going up. So you're getting 9-year MGP for 114 proof, $108. Midwinter Night's Dram, Act 12 for $200. We used to love Midwinters, but we prefer Sagamore Sherry now. Unfortunately, it's just really expensive.
Yeah.
A couple of small lot series here. We've got the Van Dusen Rye for $96. We have the Screaming Titan
batch
for
2?
$100. Yes, batch 2 here.
Oh, no, Bourbon.
Yeah, just a lot of different Screaming Titan and Van Dusens in there. No Devil's Tower, unfortunately. We do have a Blue Run Pomp and Circumstance. I believe this is an 8-year single barrel. We've seen like 5 different designs on the blue runs. They're a little crazy. This one's got a little like indented cork going on. It's kind of interesting.
Interesting.
Yeah. Old Forester single barrel proof rye for $100. We'd probably pick that up if we didn't get lucky recently, but I think MSRP is $80. That's the cheapest we've seen at a liquor store. Then we have a Weller Reserve, Special Reserve, and Buffalo Trace combo for $80. We have the Masters Keep 10-year rye Triumph for $400. Again, that's just, all those Wild Turkey bottles are just so expensive at MSRP, unfortunately. The brand new Old Grandad 16-year for $216. Used to have a Rock Hill Farms for $300. Those went away. Some of the Heaven Hill Grain to Glass for $140 each. All kinds of Booker's releases here. 2024 03, 04, and 02 right there for $110 each. Little Book Path Not Taken for $200. Actually heard a lot of good reviews on that if you like rye. And then the Little Book The Infinite for $300. Again, another one that's getting rave reviews, but we just get a little worried about those Jim Beam limited releases. And then the reason why we're here today, along with about 100 other people, the Stagg Single Barrel Store Picks. This is 133 proof, picked by Stearns and West Coast Whiskey Club. We're super excited to try it. This was only $150 for each bottle, no bundle, no shenanigans. That's the cheapest we've ever seen a Stagg Store Pick, and we're really excited to try it. Still a few left. We've got the Buffalo Trace. All the 3 different koshers come with a Buffalo Trace for $100 each. Not bad there. We have an Elmer T. Lee bundle for $300 with the Elmer T. Lee, that special Corazon, this one finished in French oak, and a Michter's bottle of your choice, $300. We also have the E.H. Taylor barrel right here. We've got the straight rye for $180 in a little bundle, small batch for $120, and single barrel for $200. Seems like it actually comes with the kosher potentially. And then they used to have $400 for the E.H. Taylor Barrel Proof Batch 13. All right, making our way to the back of the store, away from the special area. We've got a barrel right here with some Redemption for $52. That's Sir Lee one for $70. That's something special from Redemption. Got a little Smoke Wagon shelf here. We've got some Ryes and the Uncut and Filter for $82. It's a fan favorite. Moving to the shelf, we have a whole bunch of bottles here. So we've got some Willet for $80, some Rye 3 for $86. Always been curious about that one. Some more Redemption over to the right, including one finished in cognac cask for $74. Moving down, we have both the Remus Repeal 7 and the Remus Repeal 6 for $108 and $110 each. We have this Black Maple Hill Oregon straight whiskey. We've seen it at a couple stores now. Haven't tried many whiskeys from Oregon outside of single malt, so that's kind of cool right there. Old Bones 10-year for $140 right there. Some New England Barrel Company, that's a 4-year for $62. Moving down, we have a couple of normal High West bottles and then the entire Bardstown shelf. So we've got the Amroot West Virginia collab. We have the Plantation collab, Founders. We have a Discovery Series number 8 for $160. Origin Series Rye, Fusion Series, the other Origin Series, and then the Goose Island collab. I think that's basically every release Bardstown has done in the past couple of years. Some more High West bottles, the standard Michter's lineup for $48 each. This Yellowstone 101, or sorry, not 101, 110 proof, this special edition for $160. We have the Whistle Pig lineup right there, ranging from $60 to $160.
Yep.
Moving down, we have the standard Woodinvilles right there. And then we actually have their special 8-year for $154. I think this was basically MSRP. It was a really interesting release, 100 proof. Would have liked to see cask strength on it, but I've heard some pretty good reviews on it. Might be a good way to try a limited from Woodinville. Just a little pricey at $150 though. Some Mackenzie's. We have Dad's Hat, which we always like. This is actually their rye finished in port wine barrels for 94 proof. Only $52. That's actually a pretty interesting pickup. I believe it is distilled by Dad's Hat. Maybe another Midwinter Night's Dram alternative right there.
Yeah, totally.
High Plains Rye, Rittenhouse, just some more standard bottles there.
Redwood.
We have the Redwood Core Lap along with the Rocket Top Rye. We have some few spirits bottles and a bunch of different Knob Creeks, including the 12-year for $80. All right, the next shelf, we have up top, we have some Rare Perfections over there for $190 and $210. We have the whole barrel lineup, Vantage, Seagrass, Dovetail, each for $97, and the Gray Label Bourbon for $300. We also have Journeyman Distillery, Corset Whips and Whiskey, and the Featherbone Bourbon for $60 and $50. We have Foregate Andalusia Key Rye for $200. Pikesville for $54. That's a nice rye pickup right there. And Laws Straight Rye Whiskey for $92. Down below, we have Southern Star Paragon Bottled and Bond and the Cask Strength Single Barrel. Cask Strength Single Barrel only $76. That's probably a good pickup. I've heard good things about it, but it is weeded, so probably not for us.
Yeah.
But interesting bottle, not a bad price. The whole Jefferson's lineup, including the almost infamous Ocean bottle for $102.
Yep.
We have Smoke Eye Hill. This is the normal version, 93 proof. The barrel proof got a ton of hype a little while ago. And then we have New Riff right here, the normal and single barrel versions for $50 and $60 each. Of course, we have the Basil Hayden lineup. All the Penelopes, including the Toasted Bourbon for $80, along with the Rosé Cask, the Barrel Strength 4-grain, and Architect. We have Bowman Barrel Small Batch and the Port Barrel Isaac Bowman. This is a great, again, just super cheap finished whiskey. Great way to get into it. Down below, some more leftover Basil Haydens.
Yep.
We have Russell's Reserve 10-year. Here we go.
Might as
Check
well.
the laser code. This is an LLME 19 for $52. All those LLME batches are the ones people are hunting. It's been basically confirmed it's not just Russell's 15-year, but everyone says it is a much better batch than usual. So we already got a bottle, but $52, not bad. Along with the normal other Russell's Reserve releases. Some Hooten Young, 12-year, 15-year, and 16-year, range from $83 to $155. Down below, we got some Heaven's Door. We have a bunch of Castle and Key, $49 and $48. Heard those bottles are really hit or miss, but some of them are hits. We have Backbone Bourbon for $40. Bunch of Bed and Tucker. These Prideful Goats get a lot of really good reviews. 6-year Cask Strength Bourbon and Rye. They are just MGP, but from what we've heard, they're really good 6-year MGP for $70. Not bad at all. Down below, just some more normal bottles. We got the standard Free Ranch releases, a bunch of different Bullet, and some Wild Turkey over to the right. Starting out, we actually have a little Woodford barrel. They actually have just one leftover double oaked pick for $63. We love Woodford double oaked, and those picks just kind of take it up a notch, bring in a little bit of different profile. Not sure if this is the last one, if I have more in the back, but it's kind of funny right there.
Yes.
Looking behind, we have another shelf. We have a bunch of different Wilderness Trails up top, ranging again from $60 to $100, depending on the age statement. Some of those Guero bottles for $230.
We got called out for not mentioning them, by the way. So now we are mentioning them.
Yes, we are mentioning them. Apparently there's some fans out there. A bit too pricey for us, but let us know if that's exceptional bourbon or not. We have some Senator Cask Strength, the whole Calumet lineup. So 16-year for $140, 15 for $132, and the 14-year for $130. All those are actually really great prices if you want something super high age statement. The whole Frank August lineup, all their special experiments ranging from $97 to $178. Pretty pricey there. We have a Clyde Mays right there for $76, along with the Standard for $63, Uncle Nearest, Wyoming Whiskey, and Tommy Bahama Bourbon for $125. That's pretty interesting. Some Coppercraft coming out of Michigan for $40 and $54. Basically the whole Widow Jane lineup. We got Baby Jane, the 10-year, the Decadence, and the Lucky 13, all the way up to $130. The Rabbit Hole lineup, and then we have Ben Holiday, both the normal bourbon and the soft red wheat for $70 and $65. Down below, just a lot more normal bottles, Elijah Craig, Sazerac. We have this Lux Row double single barrel. That's kind of interesting for $90.
I always like to point out the Driftless Glen because we barely see that in Southern California, at least the stores that we frequent. Especially
this label. I don't know if this is their old label or new, but this is a rye whiskey, batch 10, 48% for $70. Kind of just a really heavy-duty bottle, too.
Yes.
We have actually the Rickhouse proof of the soft red wheat from Ben Holiday for $80. That's right at MSRP. And we don't see this bottle really ever. This is the first time it's hit California. Moving down, we have the Nassif Family Reserve, Traveler for $40. These Griffin and Grains for $87. That's a new local whiskey we're seeing.
Yeah.
Some Blue Run options for $95. Millum and Green. Some more Pinhooks for $90 to $65. And at the bottom, a lot of what you typically expect at the bottom shelf. Mellow Corn, Rebel, Old Granddad 114. I know a lot of people have a hard time finding that for $36. Old Ezra 7-year, Bernheim, Old Tub. There's a bunch of different options down there. And on this barrel, no single barrel picks, unfortunately, but we have 4 Roses Small Batch Select, Single Barrel, and the Standard. single barrel being $46. Moving to the shelf, we have a couple different Old Pepper bottles for $99. Those are like their fine oak series. We have the normal Peerless Rye and Bourbon for $130 and $90. We have a Nulu for $114. That's just an uncut bourbon. We have Old Potrero 6-year for $63. We have 3 different picks from Southern Collective for $90 each. Golden State, California Gold, and Earthquake Proof. Kind of interesting right there. And then a couple standard Joseph Magnus over to the right. We also have here, we have Broken Barrel, but these are new labels I haven't seen before. This is Isle of Peat, 110 proof, a collection of American whiskey finished with Isla Scotch barrel staves. Really interesting. I believe this is distilled in Indiana, bottled in Las Vegas. I actually thought they were in LA, but I guess they're in Vegas.
It's a cool looking bottle.
Yeah. I really like the little gold sheen on it. And then this is an Amontillado version, so finished with Amontillado cast staves. Again, 110 proof, both for $55. So MGP, but I haven't really seen many people finish with staves, especially of those types. That's really interesting. We have a couple distillery picks or distributor picks of Nashville Barrel Company there for $96. Old Ezra 7-year bourbon and rye for $83 and $90. We have some Hirsch, a bunch of different Breckenridges for about $60. The whole Old Forester lineup right there, the rye, the Whiskey Row series, everything you expect there. There is this brand new bottle from Willett, Speakeasy, for $50, distilled, aged, and bottled by Willett. So this just came out. Haven't heard a lot about it. I don't really know their purpose with it. I don't know if it's supposed to be a sipper, a mixer, really what they're going with that. Some Rossville Union from MGP. Angel's Envy, we do have the standard Maker's Mark 46 for $49. The special 101 in a box for $46. Down below, we have some of those Oak and Eden, the ones that comes with a wood spiral in it for $49. Horse Soldier, a bunch of different Leopold brothers.
Yeah.
One of them for $250. That might be their 3-chamber rye. I know they're really special stuff. There's not many distilleries that do an 3-chamber, along with the 8-year bourbon for $76. And then just a couple of smooth amblers. This is actually kind of fun. This is
He's
the
so little
375 mini. 3 years and 5 months yearling bourbon whiskey. So not the best value, but it's a really cute bottle. Kind of funny. It was bottled in 2015, actually. So this is a dusty, kind of interesting.
It kind of looks like olive oil.
Yeah, it's really weird. If it had a higher age statement, we might be going home with that just because, again, it was bottled in 2015. Yeah. That's really old MGP. Down below, we got Blackened. We've got Kentucky Vintage. A bunch of different random bottles on the bottom.
Yep.
This Red Saw I've never seen before, $25. And now to the special glass case, we have all those old-fashioned copper bottles for several $1,000s, along with the special tequilas we're not really interested in. Moving down, Woodford Baccarat for $2,500. The gold label Seagrass that we do want to get one day for $500. We're hoping to find it on clearance somewhere because they don't sell very well. But we also have all the different Willett Purple Tops, ranging from $500 to $900, as you'd expect. The Rabbit Hole Founders Collection, this is the Mizunara, for $1,750. For some reason, those are just really expensive. Don't really know why. A couple of Wolves bottle, including the Wolves Willett, and then the Batch 1 of Remus Reserve Gatsby for $400. We have Heaven's Door, the Bootleg series for $550. We have one of those Buffalo Trace experimental bottles, a little 375 for $700. I don't know what these bottles are. It says Drew Maryville, so I guess it's somewhat related to Buffalo Trace or Sazerac, but let us know if you know what Dictador 2 Masters is. E.H. Taylor Barrel Proof Rye for $700. That was the special release this year. We're not going to get our hands on that, unfortunately.
Probably not.
And then a whole bunch of different Kentucky Owl bottles for about $400 each. We also have the Russell's Reserve Single Rick House Camp Nelson B for $400. That's basically MSRP. Unfortunately, they used to have it at Russell's 13 for $300. Biki 21 year for $1,300. Just a bunch of different Japanese whiskeys there. Obviously, we have the Pappies for a crazy amount, the Van Winkle Rye for $1,500, and Old Charter French Oak for $400. Down below, we also have the Maker's Mark Cellar Age 2024 release for $400. Got some Sam Adams Utopia back there. Heaven Hill 17 year the 18 year for $1,000. We have very old St. Nick, some Hirsch bottles, an old smoke wagon pick. Winter Oak, heard a lot of great things about that bottle, but it's $1,000. High West Prisoner Share, Old Forester Birthday Bourbon for $700. Just
My favorite, Baker's 13.
Yes.
I'm being facetious, if anybody's wondering.
Yeah, that's just not up our palate. Maybe there's better single barrels out there, but that's $300. And then finally at the bottom, there's just a few orphan barrel releases down there and a couple Woodford Masters collections to the right. The final glass case, we have Weller 12 year for $150, CYPB for $400. Honestly, cheaper than a lot of the stores we've seen. Some BTAC bottles, William LaRue for $1,300, Thomas H. Handy for $700. Got Springbank, a whole bunch of different bottles here. We have Weller Full Proof for $150, Ardbeg 25, a bunch of different scotches, and then just a few other. We actually have Jack Daniel's 10 year batch 2 for $300 and the 12 year batch 2 for $400. Might be a good time to mention too, as part of the specials today, they did have a spend $500 on anything in the store, and you could get George T. Stagg for $400 or Pappy Old Rip Van Winkle 10 year, I believe it was, along with a couple other lineup bottles like that. So a little bit better prices than they are in the case today. And finally, we do have the benchmark lineup for $20 to $25 right there. We always love pointing out the top floor, feel like it gets overlooked, but Foolproof, always a fan favorite.
Yep.
And we do have the Four Roses tasting kit for $150. You can try all 10 recipes all at once. Finally, we're just going to go through the normal bourbon aisle. Not a lot to point out here, but we do have the Jack Daniel's Single Barrel Proof for $70, Tennessee whiskey version. The bonded lineup for about $32 to $45, depending on if you want the liter version. Up top, we have the Sweetens Coves, Tennessee for $52, and then the flagship bottle for $164. Up top, we do have Lot 40 Canadian whiskey for $40 and the Caribou Crossing for $60 if you want to add that topper to your collection.
I think this one looks cool.
Yeah.
Gingerbread stout cask finish
Yeah.
from Virginia.
Virginia Distillery. I've seen them do like cider cask finishes and stuff like that, but for $54, that's really cool.
It does seem really cool. I love all the stuff on it.
Yeah.
As a graphic design nerd, that is cool.
Yeah, a good way to do a Christmas whiskey.
Yes.
We have Alberta Premium cask strength, 66%. This is actually a different batch than what we have at home, $79. We love our 63.7% one.
Yes.
Always recommend that. Up top, we have all the Templetons, normal, all the way up to the 10 year for $100. Cascade Moon coming out of Dickel Distillery. A bunch of different Irish whiskeys here, including the Gold Spot Anniversary for $250, Red Breast cask strength, all kinds of stuff down there. More Irish, and then we got the Jim Beam lineup here. Oh, well, we have the Evan Williams over here, but then actually over here we have these little 375 bottles of Jim Beam Signature Craft, 11-year brown rice for $55, 11-year whole rolled oat. All these are 90 proof and little 375s. And then the 11-year soft red wheat for $55. Nice. I believe these are old releases that some distributors are dumping at liquor stores near us.
Have to point that one out.
Yeah, this is a fan favorite for us, a new budget bottle, $28. Don't be fooled by the label. It is 6-year toasted bourbon whiskey, not flavored or anything crazy like that. We just got out of Corked on Stearns, and we each got a Stagg pick. Don't worry, we made sure there was enough bottles for everyone in line first before we got two. But big shout out to Eddie, the owner. He was a gracious host, put on an awesome event. Everyone loved what they got. And big shout out to West Coast Whiskey Club for helping with this pick, helping in line. We met a lot of the admins of the club. They're just super nice. And we met quite a few fans in line, which was really, really cool. Thank you guys for showing out and watching our videos. We always love it.
Yes, thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, all that kind of good stuff. Thank you guys, and we'll see you next time.